Welcome tonight to the Wednesday night show. My name is Seth Hoyt and I will be your host. The story of Brandon Dixon. Brandon Dixon, just another 13-year-old with a peanut allergy, went to school one day last year completely healthy. While there, his teacher offered him a sweet. Brandon was always very good about checking anything for peanuts due to his peanut allergy. But he was assured that this was a strawberry sweet. By the end of the day, Brandon was dead. This tragedy, like countless others that have happened in the past years, come from little knowledge about food allergies. Tonight, on the Wednesday night show, we have brought in experts who will speak to us on the importance of knowing about food allergies and how we can help those around us in different social situations. As I was speaking tonight with our guests before the show, I was impacted by the gravity of the situations that they speak of, and also by the knowledge which they bring tonight to our show. I myself don't have any allergies, neither does anyone in my family, but I know that each one of us will someday come in contact with someone who has a food allergy, and we need to know how we can help them. Tonight we'll be pleased to hear first from Spencer, who is a specialist on food allergies, and he will talk about the increase in food allergies the past 10 years. Then Sarah will speak to us about her real-life experience day to day with a food allergy. Tricia, a dietitian whose purpose in life is to help those with food allergies, will then speak to us on how we can help those around us in different social situations. I know that each of us can learn a lot tonight, and that as we learn about them, we can prevent hopefully more stories like that of Brandon Dixon. So with that, first welcome to the show, Spencer.
Thank you, Seth. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I'm really excited to talk about food allergies tonight. So my dad was actually an allergy doctor growing up, so as a young boy, I went to work with my dad. I've encountered a lot of people with food allergies and understood their circumstances that they've gone through being allergic to different foods. And it's crazy how much food allergies are actually on the rise right now. In 2013, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention actually did a study, and it showed that allergies have increased 50% between 1997 and 2011. So a tremendous increase in food allergies. And you might be wondering, what are those food allergies that are most common? The 8 most common food allergies that account for 90% of all the food allergies are milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, wheat, soy, fish, and shellfish.
Wow.
So you think about it, you send your son or daughter, or you just go to school with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a granola bar. Just in those 2 small items, you cover 6 of those 8 major food allergies, and you might be sitting next to someone just like Brandon who's deathly allergic to these food allergies and could end up in the hospital because of that. Speaking about hospitals, a recent statistic shows that the average number of hospital discharges per year among children under the age of 18 with a food allergy diagnosis has gone up so much from 1998, where it was about 2,500, to 2001, where it was about 4,000, so almost doubled. But then over in 2004, 2006, we're up to about 10,000, which is pretty much 4 times as much as it was in 1996.
Wow.
So big growth. Some experts say that it's because of our genetically enhanced foods that have maybe been causing this more food allergies, and where people are more allergic to different substances in those. But it has become a big problem, and you see it in the schools as well. You have the kids coming to school, bringing their different lunches, and we're not always aware of the people around us and their allergies, because that's more of a personal life stuff. So it creates a social dilemma for us, really.
Yeah, it definitely does, and it's interesting because our next guest actually speaks about that social dilemma. So now we'll welcome Sarah to the show.
So I've reacted react negatively to corn, and when you think of corn, you could probably come up with a list like this. Pretty typical things that you might think of. But the list should also include these as well, and these you wouldn't normally think of because they don't specifically say corn in them. But I do have to be aware of everything on this list and make sure that I don't eat anything. And this, of course, presents a lot of problems. For example, there was a couple of Thanksgivings ago where I spent that with my in-laws, and my mother-in-law didn't know that I reacted negatively to corn, and so she knew I was from the South, and so she made me a cornbread casserole. And of course I couldn't eat it, and I didn't want to tell her that because I didn't want to embarrass her or put her in any kind of an awkward situation. So my husband ended up telling her, and so she scrambled together and put together a different meal for me. And I felt really embarrassed, and I couldn't tell who was more embarrassed in that situation, whether it was me or my mother-in-law. So that's just one way that it can be really awkward. Another awkward situation would be eating out. I have to make sure that I get a list of ingredients to make sure that I can eat things at a certain restaurant, and if it's a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing, then I usually just stick with salads with no dressing and basically nothing on it.
A little boring.
It is really boring. But I know that it's safe that way, and that's what I have to go with, is what's safe. Another problem that I have is whenever I go shopping, I usually take about an hour longer than most people would take on a shopping trip because I have to look through ingredients to make sure that it has no corn in it, but that it also doesn't have ingredients like this. And it's really difficult at times because I do have to look through everything, and so a lot of times I just stick with what I know. I go with fruits, vegetables, and meats because I know that they're safe.
It's just exactly safe like that. So, well, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. And it's interesting because our next speaker actually talks about how we can help people like Sarah in those different social situations, how we can kind of avoid that awkwardness. So we invite Tricia, our dietitian, onto the show now.
Wow, can you feel how awkward that is? I just feel so much empathy. Sarah has perfectly described for us what people with food allergies go through in these difficult situations. Spencer has talked to us about the rise of these allergies in the last year, and they're growing annually, in the last few years, and they're growing annually. And so what can we do to help those with allergies? Well, we can't necessarily stop the allergies from happening, but we can definitely learn how to accommodate those with the allergies. During my employment at Maccabee Fresh, I received countless phone calls from people much like Sarah who needed to know what allergens were in the food and how to accommodate for those allergies. And so from that experience, I've gathered a few pointers on how to help you out when you're accommodating people with allergies. First and foremost, you can plan ahead. If you know that you're going out to a restaurant with your friends later on this week, call up your friends and tell them. Be like, hey, we're all going to Maggleby's this week. And so then they can call Maggleby's in advance and say, well, hey, I have this allergy. What's on your menu that doesn't have this item on there? And the people can help you out. And planning ahead gives your friend time to make this phone call or to look online and figure out what's in their menu. It also gives a chef time to plan ahead and prepare. If a chef knows that you're coming, they're more willing to accommodate you than they are at the last second. Obviously, planning ahead doesn't always work out, especially with college students. and so when you're on a whim, please be patient with your friends as they're placing their order, as they're probably going to ask a waiter or waitress a lot more questions, and it's going to take them a little bit longer to place their order. But whenever you can, please plan ahead. Second, you can ask questions. This allergy is a part of their life. It's a big part of their life. And asking questions shows that you're interested and that you care about your friend and the challenges that they face with these allergies. It also helps you gain a greater understanding of how to accommodate them and what you can do to help them out. And where it has been such a big part of their life, they are more than happy to share these things with you. So don't hesitate to ask, and expect them to speak up as you ask these questions. Expect them to tell you what their allergies are. Expect them to tell you how to plan around them and what you can do. When in doubt if your friend has an allergy or not, or what an allergy is, always ask. Last, hosting. Always a challenge. As Sarah perfectly described with her in-laws, hosting can always be a huge challenge. And so where it has been such a big part of their life, dinner every night requires mass amounts of creativity for these people. So ask your friend to bring something. It brings them a lot of comfort to know that there's something on the table that they can eat for sure, and it also leaves a little bit of your burden to know what to plan for them. To help you out, as you are hosting, we have created a list of websites that contain allergy-friendly recipes and that you can turn to when you are hosting one of these friends. To help build your confidence in these websites, I have gone to rawrecipes.com and we have created some chocolate raspberry thumbprint cookies for you tonight. And these are gluten-free and corn-free and a lot of other things. But I ask you to go to rawrecipes.com and check out the menu for yourself, or the recipe for yourself. And so with that, please pick up a treat and a handout on your way out tonight.
And they are delicious. Let me tell you, those cookies you guys will love them. So thank you so much to each of our speakers tonight. I know that I've learned more about food allergies and how I can help those around me, and we hope that each one of you tonight in our show has taken something from this of how you can help those with food allergies around you, how we can avoid more stories like that of Brendan Dixon. That's our show for tonight, and we'll see you next week.